So I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, but I am a huge fan of the Uncharted franchise. I was legitimately blown away when I initially played the first game, and Uncharted 2 and 4 are among some of my favorite games of all time, and I even get enjoyment out of that PS Vita spin-off card game. I actually bought the beautiful steel blue Uncharted 4 edition PS4 because of how much I love this series. I'm also a huge fan of Nathan Fillion, specifically his TV shows, Firefly and Castle, and even that movie Slither he was in. So imagine my surprise to find out that he is also a pretty big Uncharted fan. Cut to about 2 weeks ago when Nathan Fillion posts this random picture of Drake, the rapper, with the caption, "Sic Parvis Magna, 7/16/18. Instantly, me and thousands of others speculated just what this meant. We all knew it was Uncharted related, but we wondered just what it was referring to. Most people, myself included, assumed it meant he was going to announce his involvement in the Hollywood Uncharted movie, currently stuck in limbo with Tom Holland attached to star. But when the 16th came around, we were instead greeted with a beautiful, faithful short film adaptation of the beloved franchise, starring Fillion as Nathan Drake himself. It was written and directed by Allan Ungar, who also directed the film Gridlocked. The fan film itself is about 15 minutes long, and takes place between the events of Uncharted 2 and 3. The story follows Drake as he is captured and interrogated, breaking away from custody to steal some antique letters from an unnamed villain, in the hopes to find some clues towards the location of Alfonso de Albuquerque's lost treasure of the Flor de la Mar, a Portuguese ship that sunk in 1511 off the coast of Sumatra. Right away, if you're at all familiar with the Uncharted games, this is going to feel very familiar, as if it were an event ripped right from one of the games. In terms of timeline, we know it's before Uncharted 3 because Drake still has his ring, and when the main thug lifts off Drake's treasure hunting achievements, he only mentions El Dorado, Quivera, and Shambhala. These are of course references to the events of Uncharted 1, Golden Abyss, and 2 respectively, without a single mention of Iram. It is a bit weird that Drake wears the outfit from Uncharted 4, and Sully drives a Jeep similar to the one that they use a lot in that game, but I'll give it a pass for still being from the franchise. Speaking of Sully, let's talk about casting for a minute. Stephen Lang is a weird choice for Sully, but he also did a great job, and his chemistry with Fillion really cemented their characters' friendship, and made it feel just as believable as in the games. Lang also starred in the movie Gridlocked that was directed by Ungar, and Ungar has said that Lang's kids are big fans of the Uncharted games too. Most of the general thugs that Drake fights were just stuntmen, so for what it's worth, they did a pretty good job in the acting department as well. The woman who played Elena is an actress named Moshier Monroe, mostly known for some TV shows that I've never seen. She didn't have too much screen time, but she still pulled it off nicely too. I'm not going to go over the plot beat by beat, but I do want to mention the scene where Drake is in the villain's office for a minute. To me, this is a scene that really sells this thing as Uncharted. Just Drake, deep in an enemy's territory, stealing some clues and having these revelations about the treasure and events surrounding it. I specifically like when he says, "Sully, do you know what this means?" And Sully's actual response is just,
"Kid, whenever you start doing this, nobody knows what you mean."
Perfect. Drake, of course, gets found out, steals the clues he's looking at, and proceeds to jump out of a window and get involved in a shootout to escape. It's as if they analyzed the inciting incident from the first few chapters of any Uncharted game and wrote their own, and I like it a lot. And speaking of shootouts, I also want to address the action in this film quickly. When Drake breaks out of his interrogation chair, he gets in a fist fight with the goons that are guarding him. What I love about this scene is how it is choreographed. It manages to make a 1 versus 6 or 7 goon fight completely believable, and it actually references how the game's AI makes it so enemies always attack Drake 1 or 2 at a time, mostly so the player doesn't feel overwhelmed. Another neat touch is that every move he uses is ripped straight from one of the games, whether it be a jumping kick, guard break, all of it. And aside from the final kick in this fight, Nathan Fillion did pretty much all of his own stunts, which is pretty cool. And of course, I can't talk about the action in this without mentioning the aspect ratio panning out for the shootout. While the scene in the office may represent Uncharted in the metaphorical sense, this shootout scene takes it a little more literal. They went out of their way to make it feel like it was transitioning from a cutscene into gameplay. Taking up an over-the-shoulder perspective behind Drake, the camera follows the scene as Drake tries to escape. It's pretty cool to see something like this implemented in a way that doesn't feel tacky or forced. Also, that Superman punch at the end is pretty fucking dope too. I'm just gonna go out and say it, I absolutely love this fan film. It perfectly encapsulates the feel of the Uncharted games with a wonderful attention to detail and proves to be a very faithful adaptation of the games. Everything from Drake's iconic ring, his outfit from Uncharted 4, Sully and Elena's outfits, Sully having emails from Chloe and Charlie Cutter, and even Drake's fighting moves are pulled right from the games. Nathan Fillion was also the perfect choice to play Drake, and he nails it. His mannerisms, sense of humor, and the sarcasm and wit in his delivery give us the perfect realization of this character in a live-action setting. He even nails the oh crap in the way that Drake does oh so often. It's great. Overall, this fan film really is wonderful, and is the best thing we honestly could have hoped for. This was a passion project for both Ungar and Fillion, and they did nothing but prove just how much they cared for this property. It's just a small taste of what might become something much more, as Ungar has mentioned that a few higher-ups have approached him to consider continuing this story. Though as it stands, it is still a beautiful taste of what potential an Uncharted film or TV series could hold in the right hands. And with seemingly unanimous praise from all around, including from Neil Druckmann of Naughty Dog, Nolan North, who plays Drake in the games, and even Sean Levy, the director of the in-development Hollywood adaptation of Uncharted. Honestly, this really does prove to be something truly great. Whether you're an Uncharted fan or not, I highly recommend you check out this fan film if you haven't already. Hey there, thanks for watching this video. I know it's something a little different from what I usually do, but I hope you liked it all the same. If you want, maybe hit that subscribe button, hit the like, it'd help me out, and go check out a few of my other videos on screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.